Hi there, I'm Frani Evedon. This is my photograph. It's called The Traveler. It's a C print, which means it's a chromogenic print, which means that it was shot with film and printed in the darkroom. It's from 1994, when there was no digital imaging at that time. I was trying to remember why I shot this. I remember the circumstances. I was in an industrial loft. Maria Pena was the model, and she modeled for me many times for many things. I since stopped using models in my photographs because I don't really like to deal with people in my photographs. When I shift over to right brain, I forget people's names, I forget directions, I forget all that stuff. So it makes it doubly hard for me to work with people when I'm shooting, when I'm looking through the viewfinder in a camera. I have to kind of jolt myself out of right brain and into left brain and then go back into right brain in order to deal with models. So it's difficult for me to do that. It's easier for me to move objects around than move people around. But anyway, in thinking about this photograph and what were the circumstances, I was thinking about my involvement in the protests that found their way here to Buffalo. The anti-abortion protesters came here, and I was on the other side protesting them. And I became involved in a lot of those protests, and I think that this photograph is a reflection of that. And as I looked up some history, I saw that in 1994, the Federal's Appeal Court struck down a court-approved buffer zone preventing anti-abortion protesters from encroaching on women seeking abortions. I know that I was involved in a protest that protested that particular decision. The court felt that the 15-foot zone was too restrictive, and it impinged upon the anti-life, the anti-abortion people. It impinged upon their freedom, their freedoms. The court felt that the anti-abortion people could talk to the women. Women didn't necessarily have to respond, but it's a terrible decision that one makes to get an abortion, and to be harassed by these people was, in my opinion, a bridge too far. In May of '94, though, President Clinton signed the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act into law. So he made it a crime. It was a reaction to violence against clinics, providers, and patients. Also in 1994, there was a murder of an abortion provider in Pensacola, Florida. Dr. Slepian, who was the Buffalo doctor who was murdered, would not be murdered until 1998, but there was a whole lot of action going on from 1992 all the way up until now, but not quite as intense as it was in the mid-90s. And I think that this photograph, and I have a series of photographs, and I also have photographs of some of the protests I was at. I still have them, I could still use them, but I haven't done so yet. But this particular photograph kind of embodied this feeling of protest and violence and anguish surrounding this issue of abortions. And also, I was thinking about the doll and how Maria is carrying this doll in kind of an awkward way. And I was thinking about this doll also as some of the burdens we carry, not necessarily surrounding the decision whether or not to have an abortion, but just generally we carry certain burdens around, and I think the doll might also represent that. That's the analysis of this photograph. So if there are any questions, I'll entertain them. If not, thank you very much.
My only question is it just one image or is it a composite?
Oh, that's one image. That's one image. It was done in the darkroom. I was able to do composite images by hand in the darkroom, but this is not one of them. Any others? Thank you.